Imagine waking up one morning and the dollar in your wallet has lost half its value overnight. Your savings, gone. Your retirement, vanished. The American dream suddenly feels like quicksand. While Wall Street cheers record highs, a silent storm is brewing beneath the surface. The U.S. dollar is under attack, gold is surging, and stocks could be standing on the edge of a historic crash. This isn't some abstract theory. This is the reality top economists are warning about right now. And before we dive in, make sure you watch until the very end, because I'm going to share exactly what steps you can take to protect yourself and your family before it's too late. Here's what we'll cover in this video. First, we'll expose the illusion of dollar dominance and why it's cracking. Then, we'll uncover the global revolt against the dollar that's fueling a gold boom. And finally, we'll reveal what this all means for your money, your retirement, and your future. Stay tuned, because missing this could cost you everything. For nearly 80 years, Americans have lived under the comforting illusion that the dollar is untouchable. It's been the world's reserve currency, the backbone of international trade, the anchor of Wall Street. But here's the truth. The empire of the dollar is built on debt and trust, and both are cracking. After the 2008 financial crisis, Washington printed money like there was no tomorrow. In 2020, during the pandemic, trillions more flooded into the system. Today, America's national debt is over $35 trillion, a number so colossal it makes your head spin. Yet the stock market keeps climbing, creating a dangerous illusion. As long as stocks go up, people believe everything is fine. But illusions always end the same way, when reality crashes down. Stick with me, because in a few minutes, we'll look at what happens when this illusion finally shatters. Around the world, a quiet revolution is underway. Nations are no longer bowing to the dollar. Russia and China are trading oil in yuan. Brazil and Argentina are exploring a joint currency. Even Saudi Arabia, the very heart of the petrodollar system, is openly considering selling oil in currencies other than the dollar. For decades, oil and dollars were inseparable. That petrodollar arrangement was the crown jewel of America's financial dominance. Now, that jewel is slipping from the crown. De-Dollarization isn't a future theory. It's not a prediction for 50 years from now. It's happening right now. And when global demand for dollars falls, Americans at home will feel the pain in ways they've never imagined. Coming up, I'll show you why this global revolt has sent the world's oldest asset, gold, soaring into the spotlight. Here's the twist most Americans don't see coming. While the middle class clings desperately to the stock market, billionaires and central banks are quietly hoarding gold. Why? Because gold doesn't default. Gold doesn't need Congress to raise a debt ceiling. Gold doesn't lie. Central banks bought more gold last year than at any time in the last half-century. Gold prices are smashing records, and if the dollar keeps sliding, analysts warn gold could soar into uncharted territory. Even U.S. allies are stacking gold, preparing for a world where the dollar no longer reigns supreme. For the wealthy, gold is safety. For ordinary Americans, gold is the alarm clock they keep hitting snooze on. And here's the kicker. History shows that when faith in paper money collapses, gold doesn't just rise, it explodes. But the danger isn't just overseas. The biggest threat to the dollar is happening right here at home, and it's ticking like a time bomb. The U.S. government spends more than it earns year after year. The Federal Reserve tries to play both firefighter and arsonist, pumping money in, then slamming the brakes with rate hikes. Foreign investors are losing patience. For the first time in 2 decades, foreign central banks have cut their holdings of U.S. treasuries to record lows. Think about that. The world no longer trusts America's IOUS, and if foreigners stop buying our debt, who's left to fund the empire? This is the time bomb ticking beneath our economy. And when it goes off, stocks won't just dip, they could crash. In just a moment, I'll walk you through exactly what happens if the dollar truly collapses, and why your everyday life would be turned upside down. If the dollar falls from its throne, the consequences will be brutal. Inflation on steroids, prices for food, gas, and rent skyrocket. Mortgage rates soar, locking Americans out of home ownership. Retirement accounts, 401ks, IRAs get shredded as Wall Street implodes. The cost of imports rises sharply, from iPhones to medicine. This isn't just about abstract numbers on a screen. This is about your paycheck, your rent, your groceries, your kids' future. And globally, a collapsing dollar means chaos, disrupted trade, financial panic, and a deep global recession. You don't have to take my word for it. The signs are flashing everywhere. Market Watch headlines, Trump's Fed attack adds to fears, treasuries, and the dollar face emerging market-style risks. Reuters reporting, foreign investors dumping U.S. debt. The Guardian warning, trust in the U.S. is eroding. The question isn't if the dollar will lose supremacy, it's when. Meanwhile, billionaires are already moving. They're buying gold, silver, land, and even Bitcoin. They're not waiting for CNN to announce a collapse. They're preparing right now. So ask yourself, if the wealthy are preparing, why aren't you? Here's the truth. You can't stop the global forces at play, but you can protect yourself. Diversify. Don't keep everything in stocks that can crash overnight. Hold hard assets. Gold, silver, and land don't disappear when currencies fail. Stay informed. Understand how Fed policy, geopolitics, and global trade affect your life. Have a plan. Don't wait until the headlines scream dollar collapse to act, because by then, it's already too late. Stay tuned, because in future videos, we'll break down specific strategies billionaires are using and how you can apply them today. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room, the U.S. stock market. On the surface, everything looks amazing. The S&P 500 is hitting new highs, tech stocks are exploding, and Wall Street analysts are cheering. But dig deeper, and you'll see a trap forming. Much of the rally has been fueled by cheap money and corporate buybacks, not real productivity. If the dollar weakens, foreign investors lose confidence in U.S. assets. And when they pull out, stocks fall. The average American believes their 401k will keep growing forever. But what happens when the very foundation of that growth, the dollar, starts to crumble? It's like building a mansion on sand. Sure, it looks beautiful until the tide comes in. And stay with me, because in a moment, I'll reveal why history shows stock markets crash fast when currencies weaken. This isn't the first time a dominant currency faced collapse. In the early 20th century, the British pound sterling was the world's reserve currency. But after 2 world wars and mountains of debt, the pound lost its crown to the U.S. dollar. Investors who failed to diversify into gold and foreign assets saw their wealth decimated. Go back further, the Roman denarius was once trusted across the empire, but endless wars and reckless spending led to debasement. Less silver in every coin. The result? Hyperinflation and collapse. History repeats itself. Every empire believes its currency will last forever. Until it doesn't. And right now, America is repeating the same mistakes. Debt, overreach, and blind faith that the dollar is invincible. That's what history teaches us. No empire is immune. But what does it mean for you and your family today? Let's talk about the hidden costs and how the wealthy are already preparing. So what does this mean for everyday people? Imagine this. Your grocery bill doubles in 6 months. Gas prices soar to levels you've never seen before. The dollar in your bank account buys less every single day. This isn't hypothetical. It's already happening in countries facing de-dollarization shocks. Look at Argentina. Look at Turkey. Their citizens work harder and harder, only to watch their savings evaporate in real time. Americans think it can't happen here. But that's exactly what every empire thought before their currency fell. Keep watching, because next I'll show you why the wealthy are already moving their money offshore and what that means for you. The ultra-wealthy aren't sitting around debating whether the dollar will fall. They're acting. They're buying gold and silver in record amounts. They're diversifying into real estate, farmland, and commodities. Some are even moving money into cryptocurrencies, betting on a future outside of government control. And they're shifting assets offshore into jurisdictions less dependent on the dollar. This isn't paranoia, it's strategy. Billionaires didn't get rich by waiting for CNN to tell them what to do. The question is, are you going to keep playing catch-up, or will you prepare like the wealthy do? Now let's get practical. What can you actually do to protect yourself? Diversify your portfolio. Don't be 100% in stocks or bonds. Consider gold and silver, not as a get-rich scheme, but as insurance. Pay attention to debt. If the dollar weakens, interest rates rise and debt becomes a noose. Invest in skills. In times of crisis, what you know and what you can do are as valuable as money. Stay informed. Don't rely on mainstream headlines. They're always late. Protecting yourself isn't about panic. It's about preparation. Let's fast forward. What could the world look like if de-dollarization continues? A multi-currency system where the yuan, euro, and even digital currencies share power. A world where America no longer dictates trade terms, losing both financial and political influence. A U.S. middle class squeezed harder than ever as costs rise and wages stagnate. But here's the silver lining. Every collapse is also an opportunity. Those who see it coming and position themselves correctly can not only survive, but thrive. History shows fortunes are made during times of chaos. The only question is, will you be one of them? So let me ask you, do you believe the dollar's collapse is inevitable, or do you think America will fight back and keep its crown? Comment your thoughts below. I want to hear what you think. Hit that like button if this opened your eyes, because it tells YouTube this is the kind of truth people need to see. And subscribe, because this channel is where we expose the cracks in the system before they break. Most importantly, share this video with just one friend. You might save their financial future. This is Ascend Your Mind. We don't follow the herd. We see the cracks in the system before it breaks. Stay awake, stay free, and stay ready.